Hello besties, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another monthly wrap-up. Today is my September wrap-up, and since I don't want to repeat myself, I already filmed 2 reading vlogs this month. So for The Butcher and Blackbird, Quicksilver, and The Throne of Broken Gods, that's the first vlog that I filmed. I will link it up here in the cards. If you want to see my in-the-moment thoughts and my reviews about these books, go watch that vlog. And also the second vlog was about not Two Twisted Crowns, that's the second book, One Dark Window, Two Twisted Crowns, and The Wraith King. That's the second reading vlog that I had filmed this month, and I will link it up here too. So I highly recommend you go watch those to see my reviews and my reactions while I was reading these books. I had a great reading month this month, and I'm so excited to talk about the rest of the books. So for the rest of the books, the first book that I picked up in the month of September was How to Solve Your Own Murder. This is an adult cozy mystery. And what drew me into this book is the synopsis. We are in this town where our teenager, Frances, when she was a teenager, a fortune teller predicted that she was going to be murdered. She was not going to die by natural causes, but she will get murdered. And from that point, poor Frances lived in fear, so she was documenting everything. She was very suspicious of the people that she was in contact with, and she was basically compiling dirt about each and every person she crosses paths with in her diary, and she was doing all that in an effort to prevent her own death, or like in hopes to help solve the case of her murder in case she dies, like the fortune teller says. And for decades, no one takes Frances seriously until nearly 60 years later from the day that her death was foretold. She gets murdered, and the story starts from there. And before she died, she had summoned her niece. Her name is Annie. Although she never seen her before, she made her the sole benefactor of her estate and assets. And now we are following Annie as she tries to solve the murder case of her great aunt by trying to decipher the riddle of the fortune, and also by unraveling the clues that can be found in Frances's diary. And the story alternates between Annie's POV and the diary entries of Frances. I felt Annie's frustration and her sense of urgency while she was trying to solve the murder, and also when she was questioning who she can trust to help her. All that while staying one step ahead of her competitor and also the detective that was also trying to solve the murder, because the first person who solves the murder is the person who gets the inheritance. This book felt like an old school mystery. We have a small village setting, we have inheritance issues, and plenty of suspects, and everyone has a secret, a skeleton in the closet of some sort. I thought that it was fun and entertaining. I loved the dual timeline. I was invested in the story, and I also loved how the toxic friendship was portrayed in the book and how it felt so close to reality. And yeah, overall, I really enjoyed my time with this book. If you are looking for an old school cozy mystery, this one is for you. The next book that I read, I am super excited to review this book, Nocticadia. This was pitched as a dark and atmospheric tale of deadly secrets and forbidden love, and it is exactly like that. This delivered on all levels. I fell in love with this book, to be honest. We are following Lilia, and Lilia watched her mother die by a mysterious illness. The doctors didn't know what she had, and she died, and Lilia vowed to herself that she will become a researcher and that she will find the illness that took her mother, and she will find the cure to that illness. 4 years later, she receives a letter of acceptance from Nocticadia University, and this is one of the oldest, most prestigious university in the country, nestled on a secluded island, and it is rumored to be haunted with the souls of the patients that were living on this island, mental patients exiled there centuries ago, and those whose bones are said to make up the island shores. The setting in itself, the setting is absolutely outstanding. And who does Lilia meet in this university? Of course, Deverick Bramwell. He is called Dr. Death in the university. He's a brilliant researcher and pathologist, and he's in charge of the Midnight Lab. They have a special lab that takes place at midnight after school. It is called the Midnight Lab. He is dark and enigmatic, and everyone is either scared of him, avoiding him, or attracted to the mystery around his character. What made me fall in love with this book is not only the romance that was so hot, no. The plot. The plot of this book was so intriguing, so compelling. It was so well thought. I mean, I can't even imagine the research that went into writing this book. It is outstanding. I really applaud the author for all the effort that was made to pull off such an intriguing plot, and also the vibes. The gothic, eerie atmosphere is on point. When I tell you, like, I got shivers. And also, a warning, we have some explicit details of gore that made it so, like, beautifully haunting and disturbing. And the plot twist at the end of the book was, oh my God. I mean, a chef's kiss. I really loved this book. I'm going to bump it up to 5 stars, to be honest. I already told you I gave it 4.5, but now I keep thinking about it till this day, and it was brilliant. I loved it. I think it deserves 5 stars. Like, you can feel the effort that was made from the author to come up with all these details linked to this disease, to noctisoma, all the biology details that I love, because I love biology. It was so well done. And the romance, the angst, and the slow burn were delicious. Delicious to read about. Lilia and Deverick are pieces of the same puzzle. They complement each other perfectly. They bring balance to each other. He's dark and sarcastic, and I loved the banter. I loved their interactions so much. I really adored the romance in this book. If you are looking for a gothic, dark academia, forbidden romance with age gap and like secret society that play a big role, this one is for you. I loved it so much, and I cannot wait to read this book in the future. I'm so happy that I own 2 special editions of this book. This was so good. The next book that I read was God and The Gumiho by Sophie Kim. This is an adult fantasy romance, but it has the quirky K-drama style. So if you are going to pick up this book, don't think about it as your usual fantasy romance. This is more on the like sarcastic humor, quirky side of things. It's like a K-drama or like an anime. It played like a K-drama or an anime in my head, depending on the day, but I enjoyed my time with this so much. In this book, we are following Honey. Honey is the Scarlet Fox, and she did some atrocious things in the past. So she's hiding who she really is. The Scarlet Fox is really popular for what she did in the past in this book. So she's hiding her true identity, and she is living her days as a barista in a coffee shop. And she hates coffee. She thinks that coffee is the most atrocious, most horrible thing that humans could come up with, and she hates it with passion. Enters Sokka, who is the trickster god, and he loves coffee so much. He thinks that coffee, like, he's a coffee lover, just like me. He loves coffee, and he keeps annoying Honey, and she keeps avoiding him or like being petty. I loved her pettiness. And Sokka is a fallen god because he attempted a coup against his brother in the past, and it ended badly. And now he has to live his days in the mortal world, hunting demons, basically. And one day, a very, very dangerous demon of darkness escapes the underworld, and also the Scarlet Fox makes an appearance before vanishing again. Sokka is offered a chance at redemption. He has to kill this demon and also the Scarlet Fox, and his sins will be forgiven. We have funny characters, intriguing plot. We are following Sokka and Hani around the city, trying to catch this demon, save as many people as they can. Of course, Hani is still covering her true identity. We have this very, very humorous interaction between them. The banter is the chef's kiss. I mean, in my head, it was a K-drama or an anime. It really played out like that, and I loved every single bit of it. As I said, don't go into this thinking that it is your regular fantasy romance. This has very, very light-hearted banter, but the action and everything that is happening keeps you really turning the pages. And that ending, I did not expect that at all. Really ripped my heart. And I cannot wait to read book 2. I will definitely continue on with the series. I loved the characters and I adored the dynamic between Hani and Sokka, and I loved how petty she was. I really loved her so much. So as I said, definitely continue on with the series. This was a great surprise, and I'm so happy that I loved this book because this cover is gorgeous. I didn't want to get rid of this book because look at it. I think I gave this 4 stars, and yeah, highly recommend. The next book that I read was another adult fantasy romance. It is The Honey Witch. I already sold my copy. Let me tell you why. So, first of all, in this book, we are following Marigold, and Marigold doesn't know that she is a witch, that she's a descendant of a line of witches because her mother protected her. She wanted to protect her, and she wanted to Marigold to have a normal life, basically, until she knew about the truth. She was, I think, in her early 20s or 20 years old. But she always felt this pull to the nature, to the spirits of the nature, to the meadows. She didn't feel like a normal lady, and she wasn't easily wooed by the suitors who were trying to woo her. And one day her grandmother comes and takes her away to this cottage on an island, and she teaches her everything about her ancestors, about her lineage, and about her powers as the Honey Witch. And also she informs her of their curse. As a Honey Witch, no one can fall in love with them. Enters Lottie. She's grumpy, skeptic, she does not believe in magic, and she will do anything to prove Marigold that magic does not exist. First of all, let me start by mentioning what I loved about this book. What I loved about this book was the cozy cottagecore vibes. It was very springy. We had all these flowers. The setting, I was with them, running through the meadows with the flowers and the bees, and this setting was amazing. Also, I loved how the message behind the book was how to embrace your true self, how to follow your heart, follow your instinct. And I also loved how her father, even though they were living compared to that period of time in the 1800s, her father was very, very supportive of her decisions, and he wanted her to know the truth, and he wanted her to discover who she really was and follow her heart. But what I didn't like is that the story overall felt very rushed from the beginning. From the first pages, everything came super fast. For a moment she was with her family, and then she was with her grandmother, and she became a witch and powerful very, very quickly. And also the dialogue felt weird at times, where they would stop a subject and change the subject abruptly, and you're what happened here? Why did we jump from this subject to this subject? What is the connection? And sometimes we will get some very passionate reactions out of nowhere, and it felt a little bit out of place because you are reading and you don't understand why, because it does not feel that you need to have this very like big overreaction to what is happening or to what is being said. So yeah, I had a couple of issues with this book during the whole story, and that is what kept me from giving this book a higher rating. But if you are looking for a fast read with like a sweet romance, nothing too crazy, and with a beautiful cottagecore setting, try this one out. And that was it for me today, book besties. That was the last book. If you made it this far, leave me the honey pot emoji or the bee emoji. And if you enjoyed the video, please watch one of these videos and watch the previous vlogs that I mentioned. And don't forget to subscribe and join the amazing community of book besties here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!